Hi everyone. I've provided a prompt for you to explain the next project that we're going to spend several weeks on, but I just want to go over the gist of it and clarify some things that might be confusing, but if you hear them explained out loud, they make a little bit more sense. So for the next project, there's two parts. You're going to work with a group for the first part, and then you're going to work alone for the second part. Okay, so the first part is your group is going to do research to find the answer to a question that your group has. And you're going to design a survey to answer that question, and you're going to work as a group to distribute that survey. And throughout that process, you're going to be asked to submit things that groups commonly have in the workplace, or submit to a boss, or just submit to each other in the workplace. And those are things like meeting minutes and meeting agendas, okay? So in the workplace, you will collaborate as we discussed, but this is a good opportunity to practice writing some of the kinds of documents you will write and see when you collaborate in the workplace, okay? And then in the second half, after your group has written a survey, distributed the survey, talked about what the survey showed, then you're going to break out individually again, and individually you will write a report explaining your findings to your boss, okay? Explaining what did you research, how did you research it, and what are your recommendations. For now, I want us to focus on the group work portion, which is going to take several weeks, and as it gets closer, we will discuss the report. I will make sure you understand how to do it, how to write it, to do well on it, okay? But let's not get ahead of ourselves and confuse ourselves. Right now, we are just focusing on the group work portion. For the group work portion, you guys are going to pick a topic about technology and FIU, and think about a problem or a situation on campus related to technology that you think if you could just survey enough people about this, you would understand it better and you might be able to change something at FIU or make it better or discontinue something that isn't working or something like that. Okay, so last semester I taught 3213, which is the engineering version of this class. It's very similar, but it's built for engineers. And examples of the topics they had were things like, is FIU's one-stop really working? Is it effective, that new building that they have? They also had questions like, is FIU's how could FIU's food bank program be improved? They asked questions about parking and all kinds of things. But for you guys, you're going to focus on technology because of your majors. But I want you to think of a question that you have that you're thinking, if we could survey enough people, we could get enough information to understand if this thing is working or how this thing could be improved or which of these two things is better or something along those lines, okay? Once your group identifies a topic related to technology and FIU, you'll get it approved, and then you will start working on writing your survey or questionnaire and distributing it. As you can see in the prompt, I'm going to pace you as best as I can, and I'm going to have you turn in things along the way. Towards the beginning of the project, I want to stop and just say really quickly, the next video is going to go over these things in more detail, exactly what they should look like. But towards the beginning of the project, you're going to turn in a group contract to make sure your group completely agrees on what the topic is, how this group is going to work, what the procedures are, everybody's on the same page. Then, towards the beginning of the project, you're going to meet at least once via video conference. Now, importantly, this could be your first meeting or your second meeting or your third meeting. I just want a meeting on video conference to discuss the writing or revising of the questionnaire or survey. And before that meeting, you're going to turn in the agenda where you explain this is what we're going to meet, and these are the goals for that meeting. And then you're going to have the meeting, you're going to prove you had the meeting, and then you're going to submit meeting minutes, which are essentially a summary of the most important decisions that were made. Again, I will go over these assignments in more detail in the next video. Okay, then you'll be writing and drafting the questionnaire. You will get the questionnaire approved. There will be a peer review of the questionnaire. Then you're going to revise the questionnaire. And once you have revised the questionnaire and made it the best you can, you're going to distribute it. You're going to get lots of people to take the questionnaire. And then you're going to meet at least one other time via video conference. And again, you're going to submit an agenda. What is this meeting going to be about? You're going to meet via video conference, and then you're going to submit meeting minutes, a summary of that meeting. And that second one that I want to know about is the one where you in some way should be talking about the results of the survey and what they mean. Now, your meeting agenda is going to be much more specific than that, and again, I will discuss that in the next video. But I want a proof of a meeting at the beginning of the project and proof of a meeting at the end of the project, and I want various pieces of information like agendas and meeting minutes to prove that you had those meetings, and that's how they would work in the real world. Now, your group can meet as many times as you want. You can meet 6 times via Google Chat or Google Hangouts or Skype or whatever video conferencing software you guys choose. You can meet 6 times. I only need proof of 2. If you only want to meet 2 times, you can IM the rest of the time. You can use WhatsApp, whatever your group decides as an acceptable communication tactic, you guys can do. And again, I will talk about that more in the next video. Okay, after your group has discussed the results and agreed on the results, you will break out back individually to write your report. But right before you break out individually, you will turn in a group member evaluation. And part of this grade is based on how good of a team member you were. This is a professionalism course, and so you are expected to be professional, and your group members get to evaluate whether or not you were professional. Now, if you are paying attention, there's a lot of things that are going to happen that are not going to be graded. Like if I am only grading 2 meetings and you have 6 meetings, 4 of them you don't have to tell me the details about. Now, the good thing about that is that if you meet consistently, communicate consistently, you'll probably do a really good job and it'll result in a really good grade. The downside of that is there leaves a lot of opportunity for people to not be good group members. The group contract at the beginning of the project and the group member evaluation at the end of the project is meant to prevent that. This is a professionalism course, and if your group members all agree that you are not a good group member, it will hurt your grade. Being a good group member is part of the assignment, okay? So if you're in a group of 4 and 3 people say you did not help at all, then that's a pretty good indication that you did not help at all. It is really rare that only one group member says something bad about you and the rest of them are like loving you so much. If that happens, I'm not going to let one person's evaluation of you tank your grade. But if everybody agrees that you weren't a group member, that will affect your grade. The good news is you get to evaluate group members, okay? So I'm going to go over the group contract in much more detail in the next video, and the meeting agendas and the meeting minutes in more detail so that you know exactly what's going to be expected of you. But for right now, your job is to read the prompt very carefully, make sure you understand the gist of the assignment, and then you're going to take a prompt quiz, and then you're going to watch another video going over the next few parts of the assignment in more detail. And for now, again, we're going to focus on the group portion. We're not talking about the reports. We're just going to focus on the surveys or questionnaires. It's basically the same thing, so I'll use the words interchangeably. We're going to focus on that, and towards the end of this week, your group is going to already start meeting to decide on a topic and start turning in things related to the project, okay? So it's important that whenever I post a video, you watch it, because I'm going to post videos that explain what you're doing next. And I'm going to try to send out announcements to keep you on track, but it is important that your group knows what to do, what you guys are doing as a group, and everybody's on the same page. If you have any questions at any point, please just email me. But for now, this video, the prompt, and the next video should make things pretty clear for you. But I'm here if in any way it didn't, okay? Just send me an email.